Should the Oakland Raiders trade for Odell Beckham Jr.? I want you to type Y for yes or type N for no. Today's show, the main focal point is around the OBJ trade rumors. So, should the Raiders trade for OBJ? Y for yes, N for no. DJ, spin that shit. According to a source, the Browns are listening to trade offers for Odell Beckham Jr., a wide receiver that they literally just traded for this season. So apparently the 49ers, the Patriots, the Eagles are all reportedly interested, and realistically, if he is actually on the market, the open market, all NFL teams are probably going to be at least a little bit interested in OBJ. Now, we know that the Raiders right now are a little bit depleted on offense, especially at the wide receiver position because of injuries to J.J. Nelson, Tyrell Williams. And there is no doubt from a talent standpoint, OBJ would be, well, a great fit on just about any offense. And I always love when the internet explodes because of tweets like this. So just because this guy named Dan has a blue check mark, that doesn't make him a good source. The Browns are listening to offers for OBJ. And then he adds the Patriots, he adds the Eagles, and he adds the 49ers. Realistically, I could go on my Twitter, because I have more followers than this guy, and tweet out OBJ with eyes, and I might think, well, it might be a little bit more impactful. But here is the one thing. I did sit on this show before, and I said that there is no way the Giants would ever trade OBJ. And guess what? It happened. But maybe OBJ, because should not have gone to the Browns, because it hasn't really been that good in Cleveland. Not only does he have to live in Cleveland, he's just not putting up very good numbers. So he's got 23 catches, 335 yards, and a touchdown. And I had to watch one of the worst football games I've ever seen this past week as the Browns got absolutely whooped against the 49ers. Now, sure, the 49ers are undefeated, but the 49ers really haven't played anyone. But when on the field, Odell Beckham Jr., especially in his first few years, was absolutely sensational. He is an unbelievable talent. He's definitely getting paid like it. But at this point, I'm almost wondering if maybe he's one of the most overpaid wide receivers in the entire league. So there's going to be a lot of rumors. There's going to be a lot of talks around OBJ, and a lot of you are going to be looking at me and saying, Mitch, they're just rumors. Well, a wise man just said about a week ago, Stefon Diggs, there's truth to all rumors. So the fact that we're sitting here talking about OBJ, the fact that we're sitting here talking about the Browns potentially moving on from their star wide receiver, it makes me think, could he actually fit with this Raiders team? Because right now, Tyrell Williams missed Week 5. J.J. Nelson missed Week 5 versus the Bears. And the Raiders went out and traded for Zay Jones. But I don't know if he's going to be ready. Keelan Doss, unproven. Dwayne Harris, injured. Hunter Renfrow is a rookie. Trevor Davis, we went out and traded for. The Raiders' wide receiver depth chart right now is very thin. And if the Raiders, who, if the playoffs started today, they'd be in, really wanted to go out and get a wide receiver like OBJ, all I'm saying is people are talking, and it's why I'm making this video. So currently we're at 27,969 subscribers. It's nice. 30K, though, is a little bit better. And I promised y'all, once I get to 30K subscribers, I'm going to do more giveaways. We're going to do some t-shirt giveaways thanks to Raider Nation store. But actually, the reason why I love Raider Nation, because y'all are like my family. And I got DM the other day, today actually, from my man Anderson, and he has a giveaway. So if anyone's going to the Raiders versus Packers game, I want you to DM me on Instagram. The first person to follow me and DM me on Instagram that's going to Raiders and Packers, I'm going to hook you up with some tickets to a field tour of Lambeau Field Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, I believe. I'll let you know the details a little bit more. But if you're going to Raiders versus Packers, I appreciate the nation. Y'all are my family, and he's got 2 extra tickets. So, son ticket. If you're going to the Raiders Packers, DM me on IG at MitchellRens365. Let's talk about the Raiders trading for Odell Beckham Jr. because the people are talking about it on the internet because the Raiders have 2 first-round picks in 2020. The Oakland wide receiver core right now is very, very thin. And then the question that I'm going to ask everyone is Tyrell Williams a true number 1 wide receiver? I think he's a 1B, and he's stepped up and he's looked great. But I would argue that Darren Waller realistically is the better option for the Raiders in that passing game. So the Raiders trading for OBJ it's a fun idea. He would look great in silver and black. And in Vegas, OBJ, that sells. But here's the thing. to get OBJ, it's going to cost a lot. So this is what the Browns had to give up in order to get him. So Kevin Zeitler, Jabril Peppers, a 2019 first rounder, 17th overall, 2019 third round pick, 95th, and in return, they got Olivier Vernon and Odell Beckham Jr. Not only are the Raiders probably going to have to give up a lot of picks, which you'll see here in a little bit, they're also going to have to pay him a lot of money. Now, I get that Antonio Brown is not one of the highest paid wide receivers. I wanted to put it in context because the Raiders were willing to give AB $16.7 million per year. Right now, Odell Beckham Jr. is tied for Tyreek Hill, making the third most per year in the NFL behind Julio Jones, behind Michael Thomas. There is no doubt that OBJ is extremely talented. But when you go back and look at the numbers that Julio, Michael, Tyreek, and Antonio Brown have put up realistically the last 3 years, there is one name, it's OBJ, that doesn't deserve to be, in my opinion, one of the highest paid wide receivers in the NFL if you're just talking about production the last 3 years. So I talked to a source very, very close to me, very knowledgeable in the NFL, and said this is what it would take for the Oakland Raiders to get Odell Beckham Jr. So what I want y'all to do right now is I want you to take a screenshot of this, and I want you to put it on IG, I want you to put it on Twitter, and I want you to @ me, @MitchellRentz365, because this is the projected trade cost of getting OBJ to the Cleveland Browns, which is why I continue to ask y'all, should the Raiders trade for OBJ? Now, this is pretty. This looks really, really nice. There's no doubt that Odell would help out Derek Carr. There's no doubt that he would free up Darren Waller even more, and you could let Tyrell really stretch the field. We could see maybe what we're going to get with Zay Jones, maybe even a little bit more out of J.J. Keelan Doss. But is adding OBJ to the team, a team that's already depleted due to injuries, a smart move considering the fact that he's dealt with injuries literally his last 3 seasons. So I'm going to ask everyone again. This is the way that I started off the show, and now that I gave you a little bit more information, I want to hear your opinion. Should the Raiders trade for OBJ? Type Y for yes or type N for no. And if you want my honest opinion, I want you all to DM me on Instagram @MitchellRentz365. So should the Raiders trade for OBJ? Y for yes and for no. If they do trade for OBJ, it's because the Raiders think that they're going to the playoffs. And if y'all think that the Raiders are going to the playoffs before the OBJ trade, go put your money where your mouth is over at BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet. BetDSI is the internet's #1 sports book. And I'm hooking you up with the #1 sports deal out there. But you got to use Raiders 120 for 120% deposit bonus. And if you want a nice little cherry on top, for everyone who gets started with BetDSI, Raider Nation store, they're pretty dope. They're also going to hook you up with an awesome, awesome shirt. Tank top, you want a patch? I got you. Now, let's talk about a wide receiver who is actually on our team. Tyrell Williams missed Week 5 versus the Chicago Bears with a foot injury. What scares me about Tyrell Williams is he's just been dealing with nagging injuries all season long. And the fact that he was, in quotes, a long shot to play against the Bears makes me a little bit nervous. But according to reports and according to the coaches, they are literally just going to rest Tyrell the entire Week 6, and they're going to take it slow with him leading up to the game against the Green Bay Packers. Because when on the field, he's been our most reliable target. 4 touchdowns, 216 yards, 17 catches. Sure, Darren Waller has more receptions, more yards, but in the red zone, Derek is looking for Tyrell Williams, and then you got to consider all of our other younger wide receivers. There's just not a lot of experience there. Tyrell brings a lot of it. So right now it's looking like that he's going to be questionable for Week 7. Maybe not so much of a big-time surprise, but I'm just trying to fill you in on what I know and what I can expect from Tyrell Williams. So the Oakland Raiders, they went out and made a trade this week, right? Maybe it wasn't for Jalen Ramsey, AJ Green, or Stefon Diggs, or Odell Beckham Jr., but it was for Zay Jones. And according to a source, Jones is going to wear number 81. I just don't know if I really like the idea of Zay Jones wearing number 81. Now, I understand the Raiders, they don't really retire numbers, but between you and me, number 81 needs to be retired. And if y'all agree with me, type 81 in the comments section, because Tim Brown wore number 81 and had an absolutely incredible career. Sure, I had some people say, well, Mitch, Michael Rivera also wore 81. No. No. He did, but let's be honest. There is one player on the Raiders who should have this number retired at 81. It's Tim Brown. 100 touchdowns, over 14,000 yards, over 1,000 receptions, and he played in 255 games. When I think of the number 81, I think of Tim Brown. Now, I am excited about Zay Jones coming on the team, but the Raiders really, I think, should retire the number 81. I'm excited for Zay Jones. I know Mike Mayock loves Zay Jones. And Zay, maybe you should wear 84 so Raider fans who bought Antonio Clown jerseys can just put Jones on the back. I'm just saying, it's an idea. So I want to know from the entire nation right now. Type 81 if the Raiders should retire Tim Brown's number. I already gave you my opinion. I'm typing my 81 in the comments section because I definitely think that the Raiders should retire the number 81. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you are at youtube.com/Raiders Report. Oh, shit, I'm still here. Now, I appreciate everyone who's watched all the way to the end, and if you like what you see, click this button over here to subscribe. And if you want to watch my next videos, maybe trade rumors, some more rumors, some Chucky heads, come over here, check it out, Raider Nation. I love you. Much love to y'all. For Chucky heads, believe it, baby.